Welcome back to CUTV News Center. I'm Allison Steinheiser with sports. With a 3-0 record, the football team has started off with a bang. Now they look to keep playing strong as they entered conference play when they made the trek up to Clarion to take on the Golden Eagles. The Vulcans were looking to extend their win streak against PSAC West opponents to 21 games. Josh Portis is looking to help his team continue their run here on their first drive. They get stopped on a 4th and 1 play. It looks like they got in, but they did not. Then later on in the first quarter, again, deep in the Clarion end, they get intercepted in the end zone by Brandon Akins. He returns it to the 20-yard line. Then in the second quarter, the Golden Eagles get a touchdown here from Jock Robinson to put them up 7-3. However, in the third quarter, the Vulcans started to play much better. Here, a nice touchdown pass from Josh Portis to Shedrick Cherry to put the Vulcans up 10-7, and they did not look back from there. A nice run by Jordan Scott here for the touchdown to put the Vulcans up 17-7. And again, late in the fourth quarter, Lamont Smith with a nice run. He had another big game to put the Vulcans up 24-9, and that would be your final score as the Vulcans win 24-9. Smith had 39 carries for 187 yards and a touchdown. Another team that had high expectations going into the season was the volleyball team. However, the Vulcans struggled out of the gate, losing their first 4 games. Since then, the Vulcans have gone 8-2. They were looking to close the gap on the PSAC West leading Clarion by defeating IUP on Tuesday night in Hamer Gymnasium. The Vulcans were looking to continue their Elite 8 appearances. However, this one, the second serving error of the game, ties it up in the first game. And IUP, with the nice spike by Morgan Chersky, is able to put IUP up 16-14. Again, in the first game, still here, a nice tip by Kelly Frucknock to put the Vulcans up 22-19. They would go on to win that game. A nice block here in the second game by Cal to put them up 4-0 early. And here, another nice tip by Courtney Urshman to put the Vulcans up 15-4, and they would win that game as well. IUP needing to win the third game, and they do a nice job here by Jessica Bodkin to put IUP up 20-14. However, in the fourth game, Cal was just too strong as Courtney Ishman again with another nice play. But IUP makes another mental error and puts it out at the baseline to give the Vulcans a 3-1 win. Harris had 15 kills, and Frucknock also had 15 kills. Almost every freshman has had to deal with a new experience when they came to Cal U. For some, it is their first time away from home, and many athletes, they have to deal with competing at a different level. However, there are several athletes who also have to deal with moving to a different country. Some student athletes came from as far as Europe, while others came from as close as Canada. This week, I interviewed some of the international athletes from the women's soccer team about how they have made the transition to living in the United States. Many of the international athletes at Cal were recruited from major tournaments.
Albine actually came up to Ontario and watched me play in the Ontario Cup final. I was actually playing against 2 of my now teammates, Kristen and Daria.
While most students only have to deal with applications for the school itself, it is much more difficult for international students to finalize their plans for school.
Just the application process was longer. I mean, we're North American, so the culture change isn't too different.
But it has been difficult. Just getting used to a new culture in a way. I mean, it's nothing too crazy or different, but it has been a bit of an adjustment, but I'm really enjoying it.
Even though they are far from home, there are several girls who have played with or against some of their current teammates.
Honestly, I was actually nervous when I came down to find out that 2 of my rivals were going to now be my teammates, but everything worked out really well. We're now really great friends. Kristen and I actually play on the back line side by side, so it's been really nice.
Again, I play defense with her, so she's my defensive partner. It's been good.
Culture adjustment may not be as hard for athletes coming from Canada, but there is still a difference between how youth teams are prioritized.
Big difference is with high school soccer. I know down here a lot of the emphasis on getting recruited is from high school, whereas back home you would never get recruited from high school. It's more recreational.
Back home you find more competitiveness in club soccer, so we were really competitive club soccer and we did really well, whereas when you come down here it's all about collegiate soccer. And
even at the collegiate level, there are many differences from the United States.
The level of play, like for our school, like there are many Canadian schools that could compete against us.
Personally, a goal of mine has always been to get a scholarship down in the States. I think because they offer more money down here. Back home there isn't a lot of emphasis on athletic scholarships, so I know a lot of athletes always strive to come down here.
here, there's thousands of schools throughout the nation, so it's a lot more competitive and a lot more opportunity to play against different people.
Look for future stories on international athletes throughout the year on News Center. Okay, guys, so the football team is doing really well. They've won 21 straight games against the PSAC West.
Well, I'm glad that they're going really strong this season, and hopefully it can bring it up to 22 with Lock Haven coming up. So.
Yeah, and with this weekend being Family Day, a lot of parents are going to be coming up, and I bet the Vulcans are going to bring their A game to show off to their family.
Definitely.
All right, well, thanks, Allison. Well, that's it for News Center.
We'll see you next week.